Hi there, Erie. This is Kelly. I really hope you have this physical piece of paper in front of you. I looked very, very carefully at the unit test that you have to take this week, and I created this study guide, and I'm going to go over this with you start to finish. This should take us about a half an hour, and then you work some problems out on your own. That's probably another 45 minutes. So this is about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half of prep work so that when you go to take your test this week, you are well prepared. So I'm going to start here with number one, and let's just recap some angles you've seen before. Do me a favor, can you physically trace this line? Trace it with me and physically trace this line. There's two relationships you need to watch out for. The first one is this. Whenever you have a straight line, look for a rainbow. That rainbow, and that rainbow is going to add up to, with a straight line, 180 degrees. So that's the first thing you want to notice. The second thing you want to notice is the angles directly across from each other. For example, angles 2 and 4 here, those are called vertical angles. Those are going to be congruent. So 2 will be congruent to 4, and then 1 will be congruent to 3. Notice the matching hatch marks there. So right here, we're told that the measure of angle 4 is 99 degrees. Let's find all the other angles. Step 1, the angle right across from it, vertical, also has to be 99. And then if you physically sweep that rainbow, you can see to get this number 1 angle, it's going to be 180 minus 99. Of course, that's 81. And then the vertical angles are going to be equal to each other. If that's 81, this right here has to be 81. Now let's apply that, and let's do some with actual variables. I'd like you to sweep the two relationships that you know are true. Here's a straight line. So the first thing you want to do is go like this. That's a rainbow. That's going to be 180. The second thing that's going to help you out here is the fact that these vertical angles, whatever they are congruent. So if we were to solve for the variables here, we see that angle Z is going to have to be exactly the same thing of the vertical angles. That's 70. If I want to find X, physically sweep like this, I see that those two angles add up to 180. One angle is 70, and then the balance of the angle is going to be 5x plus 85. You go ahead and do your algebra. I'm going to do mine. Look up when you're done and see if you get the same thing. So there, I just solved for Z. is 70, and x is 5. Let's take a look here. Let's look for our two relationships. The first one, straight lines. There's my 180 relationship. Then my vertical angles, I know that these guys are equal. So we ask ourselves, which one do I start with? If I start with 180, that's going to be a problem because I have two variables going on there. But I can do this. I know that these two angles are actually equal to each other. So I'm going to use the vertical angles. 8x plus 61 equals 117. You do your own algebra, look up when you're done, and see if you match me. So you should have gotten x is 7. Now to get z, I know that this whole angle is 117. So I know that 117 plus z, whatever it is going to give us that 180-degree arc. You do your own math. And we get 63 there, which means this is 63. You see how that works? So we have vertical angles, and this, the yellows, those are called linear pairs. So the green here, those are called vertical angles. And then the yellow, this is called a linear pair. Once again, let's try this one down here. There's a straight line. Let's start by sweeping a rainbow. It's 180 degrees. Let's check out our linear pair. Of course, these two are our vertical angles. So I'm going to start by doing this angle here, which is 8x plus 10 plus this angle here. Trace it with me. When I trace stuff, you physically trace stuff as well. That helps your brain register physically what's going on with the diagram. And then that's our 180. Let's solve for x. You do your own algebra. Okay, so 18 goes into 144. Let's check to see what that might be. Let's try 8. 8 times 8 is 64. And so I see that that's going to be 8. Now take that 8 and let's plug it in. So this over here is going to be 8 times 8, which is 64 plus 10. That means this right here, the red, that has to be 74. Let's check this one. 10 times 8 is 80. It's 26. That's 106. And this is how you know you're correct. 74 plus 106. And we get 180. That's how we know we're correct. So our x here is 8. And then our z is going to be the exact same thing. What's right across it? That means your z here would be 74. All right, now we're switching to very specific vocabulary. Says we want to find a pair of what's called corresponding angles, a pair of alternate interior angles, and a pair of alternate exterior. Corresponding angles, this is called a transversal. It is a one line that cuts across two other lines. That's called a transversal. Corresponding angles, when I say between means between the two lines that are given. So when I say the word between or interior, I'm going to use the word interior here. Interior means between the two lines. So corresponding angles are when you have one angle between the lines, or interior, one angle out, same side. So corresponding angles would be angles 2 and angle 6. Another pair of corresponding angles would be angles 1 and 5. Another pair of corresponding angles would be 3 and 7. And another pair of corresponding angles would be 4 and 8. One's in, one's out, same side of the transversal. That's corresponding. Alternate interior angles. Alternate means opposite sides of the transversal. That would be like 4 and 6. So angle 4 and angle 6 would be alternate interior angles. Another pair of alternate interior angles would be 3 and 5. Alternate exterior, opposite sides of the transversal, but outside of the lines. That would be like 1 and 7. Also, 2 and 8. Now, knowing this terminology, Erie, come down to 6, and I like you to find a pair of alternate interior angles, corresponding angles, and alternate exterior, corresponding and alternate interior angles. One pair for each. Okay, alternate exterior, one pair of angles. Corresponding, one pair of angles. And alternate interior, one pair of angles. Pause the video and then check your work on the last page for problem number 6. Do this on your own. Pause the video. Check your work. Okay, Erie, hopefully you did that on your own. You checked your work. Now, knowing that terminology, what's important to understand is when lines become parallel. I'd like you to put this in the margin, please. When lines become parallel, that's the little arrow feathers, or they just tell you they're parallel. Corresponding angles, those are the reds, they're going to be congruent. Alternate interior, those are the blues. Those are also going to be congruent. Alternate exterior, those are the greens. Those will also be congruent. The most important ones to remember here are the blue alternate interiors, and I nickname those, if you do this, I nickname those alternate interior armpits of the Z. So all 3 of those angles are congruent. Let's write that down. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. There's one more kind of angle, and that's when you're on the same side of the transversal and between the lines. These are called same side interior angles. So right down here, we're told that these 2 lines are parallel. Just darken them. They're parallel. Put the little arrow feathers on there. We are told angle 7 is 58 degrees. Let's find angle 1. Angle 1 is corresponding, so angle 1 is also 58 degrees. To get angle 4, do you see that you have a straight line? You have a rainbow? That rainbow is going to add up to 180. So to get angle 4, we're simply going to do 180 minus 58. You do your own math there. We get 122. Angle 1 and 4 are a linear pair. Ready? I'd like you to do problem 8 completely on your own. Pause the video and then check your work on the last page. Pause the video. Okay, let's check. Welcome back, Erie. Let's see how you did. We were told that angle 4 is 54 degrees. Which means angle 7, angle 8 would have to be 54 degrees. That means angle 7, this would have been 124 and 124. Okay. Notice what this says right here. That little double backslash, that means parallel. So let's just physically trace out. Physically trace it. It's going to be parallel to K. I want you to find the values of X and Z. Okay. Step 1. I'd like you to sweep this problem. That angle and this angle are congruent. They're corresponding. They're also going to be equal to this angle. That's corresponding. So the problem is there's nothing there. But let's look at what you do have. You have a straight line here. And you can sweep 180. So now knowing that that yellow is 180, I'd like you to find this green right there. Okay, you should have gotten 99 here. So come over here, that means this is 99. And watch very carefully, armpits of the Z. If this is 99, this is also 99. You just found X. X is going to be 99. We know the corresponding angles are equal, so this is equal to that. So I can find Z by doing 4Z plus 7 equals 99. You do your own algebra. Check your work when you're done. So we just solved for Z. Our Z is going to equal 23. I'm going to do 10 with you, and then you're going to do 11 on your own. Let's take a look what we have here. Okay, let's do our corresponding angles first. If these lines are parallel, which they are, corresponding angles are equal. That's one in, one out, same side. So that's 67, that's 67. Okay. Now X is easy. All you need to do to solve for X is sweep the rainbow. There's the rainbow. That's 180. So knowing that, I'd like you to solve for X. I think you can see that it's going to be X plus 67 equals 180. Solve for X. Now Z, I know that these are equal because they're alternate x. So this is 67, This is also 67. So to solve for z, I know that 5z minus 108 is going to equal 67 because that's alternate exteriors. Solve. And z here is going to equal 35. Okay, Erie, follow what I just showed you, and I want you to attempt to solve for x and z on your own for number 11, knowing that these are parallel. Knowing that those are parallel, I want you to solve for the variables z and x. Pause the video, do your own work, check your work on the last page, and then restart the video. All right, Erie, hopefully you got a number 11 correct for solving for x and y. You checked your work. Let's go on to number 12. Number 12, same concept. I want you to do this one on your own, solving again for x and y. Check your work on the back, the last page. All right, hopefully you noticed here that this 65 is going to be the same as this right here. That's also known as opposite to the z. So you sweep the 180. That would make this 115. And then you can go like this. That means 3z plus 16 equals 115. 3z equals 99. Your z, you should have gotten 33. Okay, so down here, it gets a little bit more complicated because I have two sets of parallel lines. Let's trace them. First, M and N are parallel. Let's trace them. There's something like this on your test. That's why we're doing this together. And then P and Q are parallel. So once again, you are looking for the congruent angles, and the angles that are congruent are corresponding angles. Also, alternate exterior when the lines are parallel, and alternate interior when the lines are parallel. So you only have one number here. We're going to start with that 83. So looking at this transversal, that 83 is also going to go right there because it's a vertical angle. Then I can do this, armpits of the Z. That 83 also goes here. And this is alternate exterior, that 83 also goes here. Now, what I like to do, instead of just solving for X and Y, I just find everything. For example, if that's 83, we sweep, that's 180. So we're going to minus 83. That means this right here is 97. Armpits of the C. That means this is 97. That's 97. That's also 97. Now, take a look at the red ones. Take a look at the red ones. That 83 right here, going with the red parallel lines, is exactly the same thing as this angle right there, which is also the same angle as the armpits of the Z. So now I can solve for my variable. So I know 6Z minus 133 has to equal 83. Go ahead, let's do our math. I know 6 goes into 21 3 times. 3 left over. 6 goes into 36 6 times. So our Z here equals 36. Now, taking a look here, I have armpits of the Z. If this is 83, this right here is also 83. This is 97. This is corresponding angle. That means Y is also 97. Gary, I'm going to do 14 with you, and then 15 you're going to do on your own. Let's recap what's equal once again. Angles that you need to watch out that are equal. Vertical angles are always equal. Parallel lines, correspondings are equal. One's in, one's out, same side. Alternate interior angles are equal if the lines are parallel. That's known as armpits of the Z. Those are equal if the lines are parallel. Last one that's equal, if the lines are parallel, are the alternate X's. Opposite sides of the transversal, outside the lines. Those are all congruent angles. So we look here. We're told that M and N are parallel. And we are also told that P and Q are parallel. Okay, knowing that, ready? I'm going to start with the 77. Why do I start there? That's the only thing where I have an actual number. So now I just walk it down. My 77, I've got vertical angles right there. I have armpits of the Z. So that means 77 is also right there. Vertical angle, 77. Now to get back C, I can sweep 180. So Z is going to be 180 minus 77. We get 103. I'll walk that 103 up, vertical angles. This is 103. And then going this way, armpits is a Z. Going this way, that means this is also 103, and this is 103. Okay, we have everything on that stir stick. Now, we just found our Z, our D. It's 103. Taking a look this way, I see that if this is 77, then this is also 77. Why? It's corresponding angles. So I just now figured out that 3y minus 1 is going to equal 77 degrees. So Just divide that long here. 3 goes in there twice. Y is going to be 26. So Z is 103 and Y is 26. Now take what you've learned for 13 and 14, Erie, and try 15 completely on your own. Check your work on the last page. Pause the video. Alrighty, Erie, welcome back. Hopefully you noticed I've got 74 as this 74. And you should have gotten armpits of the Z, which makes this 74, which makes going this way 106. And then you solve 6x minus 2 equals 106, which makes this also 106. Alright, parallel lines. Okay, 16, we're going to shift gears to triangles now. From parallel lines to triangles, and then we're going to combine parallel lines and triangles. This is a real simple concept. Inside a triangle, the 3 angles of a triangle always add up to 180. So to solve here, that would be 32 plus x plus 43 equals 180. And you simply solve. So all you need to remember is that the 3 angles of a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. Okay, knowing that, for problem 17, I want you to do 17 on your own. Pause the video and check your work on the last page. Okay. 18. 18 shows a real simple concept. This is called an exterior angle. Notice it's made by extending one side of a triangle, and that's called an exterior angle. That exterior angle equals to the sum of the 2 angles that are inside the triangle but far away. They're called remote interiors. So the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the 2 angles that are far away but still inside the triangle. It's called the remote interior. So in this case, if we were to solve for x here, that exterior angle is 140. That's going to equal that 51 plus x. Now simply solve the amount. Okay, that exterior angle equals the sum of the remote interiors. Number 19, do 19 on your own. Pause the video, check your work on the last page. Okay, number 20. Now things are going to start getting interesting. I'm going to do 20 and 21 with you. Now we have a bunch of things happening here. Ready? Let's start with the simple one. First, trace your triangle. Now realize that triangle has to add up to 180 degrees. Come over here. Can you trace these two lines that are erie? That means these are vertical. Vertical. They look like two little V's stuck back to back. So if this is 54 right there, that has to be 54. Bam. We now have two angles inside that triangle. Let's add them up. Now let's take that away from that 180. Because the triangle has to add up to 180. And we just found this angle right here. And we're looking for X. Go ahead and sweep a rainbow. Physically sweep that rainbow. And we see to get our X, we're going to do 180 minus 74. And we get 106. So three things you want to watch out for. Very simple. First is watch out for the fact that triangles add up to 180. Two, you want to watch out for your vertical angles that are equal to each other. Three, you want to watch out for your rainbows, which are your straight lines, linear pairs that also add up to 180. Okay, I'm going to do this one with you. This looks like one of the problems on your study guide that you and solve for X, and then this one you're going to do on your own. Ready? Our goal is to solve for X here. Trace your triangle. We know that must add up to 180. This triangle also has to add up to 180. So start with the numbers that you have. So right over here, you see those bow ties? That means that this is 38, that's 38. Looking at the red, let's add it up. Take it away from 180. So we just got this angle 99. Now, weave a rainbow. And let's add 99. I'll find that angle. We know it's 81 because remember that angle equals these two added together. We're still trying to find X. We're almost there. Over here, I'd like you to sweep that rainbow straight line. Now you can find that squiggle angle. And it's 59. Remember, we're supposed to solve for X. This must add up to 180. So I'm going to add 59, 81, take it away from 180. And I just found that my x must be 40 degrees. What do you watch out for? You watch out for triangles that add up to 180. You want to watch out for linear pairs that add up to 180. And then watch out for your bow tie angles, also known as vertical angles, which are congruent. Knowing this, come down to this problem right here. I'd like you to do 22 on your own. Check your work on the last page. Pause the video and do your own work, Erie. Okay, for 22, I hope you checked your answer on the last page. We'll move on here. 23, I'd like you to do on your own. Now that you're getting more confident, keep in mind, and let me just trace this with you, that the yellow has to add up to 180. Green must add up to 180. Sweep the blue. That blue has to add up to 180. And keep in mind that this right here, those are bow ties. Whenever that red angle is inside, it's going to be the same as X. Now, I'd like you to do all your math on your own. Check your answers on the last page. Pause the video, do your own work. Alrighty, Erie. So we did parallel lines and triangles, and now here we're combining the two. So we're told that L and M are parallel. Let's just physically trace it so you can feel it. Those are parallel. We also have a triangle going on here. So let's keep in mind a couple of things we just learned. We just learned, recap, that triangles will add up to 180. So right here, that triangle is going to add up to 180. Because we have parallel lines, you also want to watch out for armpits of the Z, alternate interior angles, which in this case, this is 36 degrees. This is 36 degrees. Therefore, to solve for x, I'm going to go 36 degrees plus 55 degrees plus my unknown x. I know that has to add up to 180. You do your own math. Okay, I'd like you to take what you just learned, and I'd like you to please, what you just learned, I'd like you to solve for the unknown x. Keep in mind two simple properties. Yellow has to add up to 180. You are also told that the lines are parallel. So watch out for armpits of disease. That was a bad parallel line. Okay, solve for x on your own. Pause the video. Restart when you're ready. Okay, Erie, I hope you checked your work in the back. Alrighty, the trickiest things you're going to do here are proofs. Don't panic. They're not that hard. We're going to do all of these together. I'm not going to let you do these completely on your own. Okay, starting with 26. And the proofs that you are going to learn are called two-column. And you have something called statements. And statements are like the how steps. And you have reason. And reason is like the why. Okay? We start with our given information, and we're just going to put it directly on the diagram. We are given that F is parallel to G. So up here, F and G are parallel. We're trying to prove that angle 6 and 2 are congruent. Congruent little question mark. This is a whopping 2 steps. First, you generally start with a portion of your given. So I know F is parallel to G. Why do I know that? It is given. And because they're parallel, I know angle 6 is congruent to angle 2. And the reason why? Because if you have parallel lines, corresponding angles are congruent. Boom, you're done. Let's try 27. Okay, we are told that R is, and we're trying to prove that 8 and 1 are congruent. Well, that's not fair. This is also only 2 steps. I start with the fact that R is parallel to S. Why do I know that's true? It's given. Immediately, I know that angle 8 is congruent to angle 1, and the reason is these are alternate exterior angles. So I write if parallel, comma, then alternate exterior angles are congruent. Okay, the last two get a little bit more interesting. They're not hard. It's important you get a straight edge out. There's a reason why. Whenever you have incomplete parallel lines, you want to take a straight edge and extend them. So, for example, we are told that BC and FD are parallel. So I would stretch out BC and FD, and they are parallel. That's given. We are also told that angle 1 and 5 are congruent. We're going to try to prove or conclude that BA is parallel to CE. Now, if BA was parallel to CE, or question mark there, then armpits of the Z would be congruent. So in other words, all we have to do is show, look at what we need to do. See that Z formation? All we have to do is show, squiggle it, is that 1 and 2 are congruent. And if 1 and 2 are congruent, then boom, the lines must be parallel. Why? Because we have armpits of Z's going on. So we're trying to figure out how can we connect angles 1 and 2. Okay, let's start with our parallel lines that we were given, BC and F. That's given. Now look very carefully with the blue. Do you see, since the blue is parallel, I can go like this, what? Can you trace exactly what I just did? There, you see that? I know, because of those blue lines being parallel, I know that angle 2 is congruent to angle 5. Why do I know that? Because if parallel, then alternate interior angles are congruent. In my vocabulary, that's armpits of the Z. Now, let's look at what else we have. Wait a minute. Remember, we're trying to connect 1 and 2. Somehow we're trying to connect 1 and 2 in congruent. And look, I already have my 2. So let's see what else I can do with it. I know that 1 and 5 are also congruent. The reason is it's given. Look, there's a pattern here. Look very carefully. You notice that both of angles 1 and 2 are now congruent to 5. That means angle 5 is like a connector, it's a transfer point for congruence. That means our next step, we can say this, that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and the reason why is we transfer congruency. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 5, and then 5 is congruent to angle 1, so we transferred congruency. That's called the transitive property. Last but not least, since angles 1 and 2 are congruent now, I can say that these two lines that I want are parallel. BA is parallel to CE. And the reason is, it's armpits of the Z, I'm going to write like this. We start with the angles. If alternate interior angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. In proofs, we have the how steps on the left and the why steps on the right. Let's try one more, see if you guys have it. So don't freak out how complex this is. This is not that hard. Let's look at what we know is true for sure. We know that UV parallel to ST, that's given. Parallel. Helpful if you color code this. Then I also know that QR and ST are congruent, and QR and ST is well done. Double, because that's our second one. That's better. Somehow we also know that 4 is congruent to 3. That's right there. Knowing that, we're trying to connect the angles 8 to angle 1. That's our goal. Okay, let's do the simple stuff first. Several statements. I'm just going to write it like this. How on the left? Y on the right. I'm going to start with my first given. The reds being equal. If you color code this, it makes it a lot easier. How do I know that's true? It is given. Now, because the reds are given, remember I want to say something about 8. Why? Because 8 is part of my given. I can say this is true because the reds and 8 are given. Angle 4 is congruent to angle 8. And the reason why is because they're congruent angles. You would write it like this. If parallel, I'm going to abbreviate here, corresponding is congruent. All right, now let's see what else we can do here. I just mentioned angle 4, and I have an angle 4 here, so I'm going to connect them. So I know angle 4 and angle 3 are congruent. Keeps turning out like a B here. Let's try to make that look like a 3. And the reason for that is it's given. Now you can see that angle 4 is a transfer point. So it's got 5. I can say now that angle 8 is congruent to angle 3. And the reason why, again, excuse me, this is step 4. I can't count right now. Step 4. All right, this is going to be transitive. All right, I can tell you right now, there are 3 more steps left. I would like you to try to figure out what those last 3 steps are, and then check your answers on the very last page.